Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Um, I want to do a quick kind of video about my book again, and it is available to buy now, and you can buy it on Amazon. And tomorrow, on Sunday and on Monday, it should also be available for free to download. If you're interested in the book, um, you could have a look. And I will, um, actually, I wanted to read a little bit about it. So, in my last video, I explained a little bit about the background. Also, I mean, you should know it's not like a typical um, bad romance book or dark romance book or what this is called, but it's more like what I call about emotional landscapes and psychology. So it doesn't really have a story or anything like that. It's just some characters who are wandering around confused in the world. And these are female characters for some reason. So, but this book is also from 2017. And yeah, it's like these female topics are kind of interesting. I think I am probably idealizing this a bit too much. But as Carl Gustav Jung said, there will be kind of a backlash of female energies, but also we can't be sure how that will break down in kind of a ping pong game. Anyway, so I just wanted to read a little bit so that you have a little bit of an impression by the book. So this is the motto, and it reads, "Let the melancholy transform into sadness and joy to become the real person you are." Okay. This is also based on some kind of intellectual book that I once read. Uh, at the moment, I'm writing some kind of political essay in order to prepare another book that I wrote. But okay, this is too complicated to explain now. So let me just read a little bit from my book. So this is the first chapter. It's called Siberia Minus. Siberia Minus was a miraculous person. When she was in town on weekends, she would first go to the ATM and then to various drugstores and pharmacies where she would buy medicine and lozenges for her sore throat. It wasn't a real infection, but more of an internal swelling that didn't hurt but caused her considerable difficulty swallowing and breathing. She had the problem for some time, but no doctor could tell her what the cause was or even cure it. So she tried various remedies, for example, based on Iceland moss, cetylperidium chloride, chamomile, ripwort plantain, peppermint, mallow, salt, homeopathic drops, algae, and anything else that was freely available on the market. She also decided to buy herself a book on that particular day. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on this. So, Siberia 2. She had already examined the book in a bookstore. It was by an African author from whom she had already read another text and downloaded several interviews. During the day, she listened to them on her headphones. Not all the time, of course, but occasionally. She had discovered this author through another person, a relaxed, radical feminist who was very active and well respected in the so called digital sphere. Well, this was 2017 or 18, so it's kind of 1,000 years ago. She was not only a feminist but also a nerd or geek. She used these terms interchangeably, as she believed the distinction had a gender degrading to avoid the ugly word sexist connotation. She was also quite young and tacitly labeled by some, ouch, good looking. As a media darling, she could therefore get away with a lot of things that were denied to imaginary stereotypical feminists with, ouch, hairy legs. At least they wouldn't be allowed to get away with it without a worthy punishment in the back rooms of certain conservative newspapers. This was the time when Donald Trump had come to power despite, or perhaps because of, his pussy grabbing comments, even though everyone had already written him off for that reason. Apparently, there was a larger segment of the population than expected that was willing to tolerate such stereotypical macho behavior. This author's geek or nerd specific specialty included so called slash fiction, a subgenre of fan fiction that delves into queer fantasy, thus lightening up her polemical, culturally critical contributions. This person, also known as a Mary Sue, had now praised the African author, not least because of their shared commitment to fighting female genital mutilation. And that's how Siberia came across her. Yeah, this, as I said, this is from 2018. I don't know, maybe one more chapter, but it's already 10 minutes, so I don't know if I can read a whole chapter. Actually, Siberia's account was already overstretched for this and the next few months, and she could have simply downloaded the book for free, at least in English. But she wasn't sure if she really wanted to read it in English on her tablet, or whether the physical version of the book in German might not inspire her more. Just buying a book had a strange satisfaction for Siberia, especially when the act of purchase overtaxed her financial resources. This also applied to ebooks. But now she stood in the bookstore with the object of her desire in her hand. She leafed through the book and had already read several pages. Something about the author's style appealed to her and resonated within her. It was about very simple things, the everyday life of a family in an African country, the emotions triggered by the outdated languages of ancestors, the clash with newly adopted religious traditions, and characters in novels whose actions and interactions are immersive and real, and whose actions and interactions you, as a reader, observe from the outside.